Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us for our Thursday weather update for February the 2nd. And just a programming note, this is our final video for this week. Let's take a look and see what is going on at the moment. Now, we've got an extended forecast through till pretty much the end of next week, to Thursday of next week, as we cover all of this messy weather that's been moving through. But I've got some good news and I've got some, I don't know if it's bad news, but we've got some a bit of the old switcheroo with the severe weather. It's moving more down to the South Island and we're going to see a bit of a clearance in the north. So on the animated wind map for today, for Thursday, you can see the humidity, the relative humidity in the bright blue. So humid weather around the north, which means with the leftovers of this system around, you'll see a few showers. They're going to get heavy and there might be a few isolated thunderstorms over Thursday and Friday as the last of this system kind of moves through and we just get those isolated systems mostly around sort of Northland, Auckland, Coromandel, Bay of Plenty, you know, the same places really, but hopefully it'll be a lot more broken up. But that risk is around. And down in the South Island, rain is more likely to be coming into the west coast. The other feature, this big system here in Tasmania. Now, this is the one that is going to move into the South Island for Waitangi Weekend and bring some areas of severe weather. The good news is, for the upper North Island, it completely falls apart. And it's also bringing in a big change to Australia. Look at the cooler, drier air across Australia. Well, cooler maybe only down here, but certainly drier airflows going up. This was very humid and wet just a couple of days ago. So let's have a look at rainfall. Here is the 72-hour rainfall map for New Zealand, and we've still got downpours up here. Now you're looking at around about 20 to sort of 45 millimeters for the most part. But you might see the odd heavier downpour. If you get one of those thunderstorms and it lingers a bit longer, you can get another 20, 30 millimeters on top of that. Now the main focus though is over here on the west coast. You're talking about 200, 250 millimeters of rain after a very long dry spell for the west coast. So that's a real change for you. The good news for the more populated places, you get some rain, but you're outside of that sort of flood risk, if you like. There could be flooding further down the island, and over here on the eastern side, that blue and green at the very bottom of the scale, just a few spits, probably nothing really making it over into the hills there. So that's for the next 72 hours. In Australia, this was a lot wetter a couple of days ago. That big southerly sort of moving through is drying things out, but still very wet around Queensland. Still seeing plenty of rain. Kimberley region has had a lot of rain there in Western Australia lately, and we've got more rain coming back down to that Victoria, Tasmania area as that storm moves through in the days ahead. Well, pretty much coming through here. So the final map for this week, for Friday anyway, here is that stormy system driving in a colder southerly for Adelaide, but especially for Melbourne, and later on it'll get into Hobart. Not quite so bad there at first because you're sort of near the centre, it's a bit calm. Different story on the New Zealand side, tropical airflow still coming down, still humid, downpours in this region, some heavy, maybe some thunderstorms as well in the mix, but more isolated. But you can generally see that northwest flow and that rain building up there on the west coast. So as we go into the weekend, the long weekend for New Zealand, we've still got a few showers here. So this risk is mostly some light showers in the morning or even a downpour in the morning, sort of a mixture of the two. And then in the afternoon, much more of a risk of a downpour or thunderstorm coming in for you. And by the end of Saturday, those rain clouds start to set in because on Sunday, it is a wet day on the west coast. Now this looks like for Auckland and northern areas that a big front is about to come through. But if you ask most farmers at this time of the year, if a cold front's coming out of the Southern Ocean, what does it do for the top of the North Island? They'll tell you not much. So as that front comes through on Sunday, by Waitangi Monday, that's what you've got, just the leftovers, a few showers. So it'll be a little bit cloudy, there'll be a few showers around, but we are not talking about anything too dramatic based on what we've just gone through anyway. And there's also another change, a slightly cooler west to southwest change. After all that humidity in the north, it starts to ease on Monday. Now on Tuesday, calmer in the north here with southwesterlies. A couple of showers on the coastline, that's nothing to worry about. But that humidity takes a break, so that's probably a positive. But down here, you're about to get a change here on Tuesday. So we've got that cold front coming through, and by Wednesday, up it comes. So Gore in Southland, you're high on Saturday, around about 30, 31, 32 degrees. You're high on Wednesday, around about 14, 15, 16. So that is a big drop coming through for you. And again, those fronts just fall apart as they try and go northward. So northern New Zealand isn't quite as unsettled. And our final map here for Thursday, a whole week away from now, And I'm wanting to show you this so that the upper North Island can see there's a bit of a break coming for you. High pressure is pushing in, and for Southland who needs wet weather, you've got some coming. Sure, it comes at a bit of a temperature cost for a time, but you've got some wet weather in that forecast for a couple of days next week as well. Still a few showers in the east, and over here in Australia, not too stormy, but the usual unsettled weather that we get with La Nina still carrying on, although it is fading, but you won't really notice it in the weather pattern quite so much for a little bit longer just yet. So that is all from me. We are away tomorrow. It has been a very long week. Of course, it's been a lot longer and harder for many others, but we're taking the Friday off, long weekend, Waitangi. We're back again on Tuesday. Of course, our websites, weatherwatch.co.nz and ruralweather.co.nz, they keep updating every hour across the weekend. And if anything major does happen, you'll find us there or on our Twitter account. We're very active on Twitter. In fact, our plan is to kind of shift what we do on Twitter to the Weather Watch and Rural Weather websites and have it coming out of there. It's a bit of a technical job for us, but that is the future of what we're doing, because not everyone's on Twitter, not everyone's on social media, so let's try and fix that for you and get more alerting on the way. That is the goal for 2023. Have a great long weekend. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.